Hey, what's going on YouTube? Hope all is well. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. My name is Abdul Hassan. I'm a serial entrepreneur, just an all-around nice guy. Let's go ahead and get into this video right now. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how credit is going to be the lifesaver and the lifeline to starting that new business that you want, getting any funding that you want, and literally being able to leverage your credit to live the lifestyle that you guys want. One thing that I really want you guys to understand is that, there's people that are living the lives that we really want to live. There's people that are driving McLarens, Lamborghinis, or just at the end of the day, some people don't want that. Some people just want to be able to have peace of mind and be able to, say, retire their parents, or they just want to be able to, be financially free and whatever that may be for you guys, right? And that's really why I started this channel. I wanted to help out people, just because I really saw so much misconception with how many people are kind of confused about how credit works and how the credit ecosystem really plays a key factor in being able to get people to where they want to go. That's why I really love the fact that I live in a beautiful country such as America. I know America doesn't have all of its good, but America does have the biggest credit system, and that's really why it allows, my parents are immigrants from Sudan, so it's exactly why you see some immigrants, right? They'll come here with humble beginnings, have nothing, work at a restaurant, whatever that may be, right? And then 2-3 years later, they're literally have their own businesses, they have Ferraris, they have all the things and toys that they ever wanted, right? And it's really because of the fact that America allows people to have access to credit, right? In other countries such as Sudan or other third world countries, they don't really have that luxury, you know what I mean? So it's really more of the fact that wherever you're kind of born, if you're born in the haves or the have-nots, it's a lot more divided than America. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful that my parents sacrificed their family, their friends, and their whole community just for me and my brothers to be able to get a better education, right? So that's really why, whenever I turned 18, I really wanted to learn all about credit, right? I wanted to be able to be self-sufficient. I want to be self-reliant. I wanted to be able to take care of my parents and take care of my loved ones because of the fact that I just knew how hard they worked, right? I probably didn't even see my mom sleep, to be honest. So, with that being said, this is just a little synopsis. Let's go ahead and get into it right now. So basically with credit, the main thing that credit is really key is really because I've had, 5-7 businesses already, scaled them over to 6 figures. I've worked as a realtor. I've had so many jobs, odd jobs, from literally working at a clerk to a gas station to working at Panda Express. I've had it all and I've seen it all basically. And so this really allowed me to kind of see that there's really a lot of people that aren't really kind of cognizant of how credit can be able to leverage it, right? I'd come and I'd work, right? And I'd be in Valet or whatever, and I'd see these AMGs and Lamborghinis and all that. And never once did I see these people pull out cash or anything like that. It was almost like they only had, say, credit cards. And I always wondered why, right? So as soon as I turned 18, I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get a credit card and learn everything about credit, right? And to my dismay, I really just had to keep learning all this game, because it's not the information that they're gonna readily give you guys, right? This is information that they have to hide from people because of the fact that people are gonna wanna go ahead and take advantage of this. And not necessarily in a bad way. Some people might, but they really don't want people to kind of realize that there's other hacks and to really, the rich and the elite, they only want to be the elite, right? So really with credit, you have to understand is that credit is so much more important than cash, right? Cash nowadays, ever since 1971, that's when President Nixon had actually took American off the gold standard, right? And so basically what that means is that no longer was our single dollar, as far as a US dollar, backed by how much gold that they had at Fort Knox or whatever they may be. Nowadays, that basically the dollar is literally backed by the military, right, of America. That's the reason why America spends so much money as far as their military powers, and the real reason that America has the ability to go ahead and print out money so much. I know that a lot of people have been hearing in the COVID-19 pandemic, literally America had printed 40% of their overall money has ever been printed since the birth of this nation, right? So literally 40% was printed in 2 to 3 years. And so that's just really mind-blowing and hard to really wrap your head around. And so the reason why America can go ahead and print all this money is due to the fact that it has a big military power, and also the US dollar is actually the world currency and the world valuation, right? And what that really means is that basically the US dollar is really traded heavily outside of the US. That's why the US can go ahead and print out so much money as they're doing in the COVID-19 pandemic and certain times like that, right? So once the US dollar doesn't no longer become the world currency, right? And really what that means is that, say if you have a Russian billionaire, right, and a Saudi billionaire, if they're gonna go ahead and buy oil or do business together, they're most likely gonna do that transaction in dollars to go ahead and make this transaction happen. So that's really one thing you guys really have to understand is man, you can have $1 million, $10 million of cash, but if you don't have any credit, and actually having worse credit is better than having no credit at all, because these lenders, they want to be able to have some trust in you. And at the end of the day, that's really all I want you guys to think about credit as far as trust, right? If I lend you $5, right, and you said you're going to pay me back next week, will you pay me back? So if your friend doesn't pay you back that next week for that $5, are you going to give him $100 next time he asks? Most likely not, right? So lenders think the same way, right? Banks and all these different institutions, they're literally just in the business of being able to make money and get a return on investment. All banks simply do is invest your money on your behalf. Like, you'll put your money in the bank, right, and then you'll see numbers, right? Those numbers don't really exist, right? Because of the fact that as soon as that money comes into that bank is using that money to go ahead and lending it to other people, such as loans, and they're making money off interest rates and credit cards and all that. So we really have to understand that cash is not king anymore. Credit is actually king. And if you guys really want to have that self-sufficient and be self-reliant and be that person that, you know what I mean, anybody can call you guys and you guys can take care of that problem, and, you know, just sleep with peace of mind and be able to wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and be happy of like that you're helping you and your family, then credit is really a great way to do that, right? Now, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer is really due to the fact that the rich have the money to go ahead and invest, right, in times of crisis. I know it's 2023 when I'm shooting this video, so right now, like, there's going to be we're kind of at a boiling point to have a recession. I mean, interest rates are super high, houses are basically not coming down due to the high interest rates. A lot of people aren't wanting to refinance. So with that being said, pretty soon, right, the Federal Reserve is going to have to make a decision on when to go ahead and cut those interest rates, because those interest rates can't be that high forever, or no longer people wouldn't be able to lend money. Money wouldn't be in circulation, the economy would fall, and so they would have to go ahead and make a move. And I see that I don't want to speculate or anything like that, but it should happen pretty soon. So as soon as interest rates drop, you're going to see a bunch of people flooding these markets, as far as the real estate market, the stock markets, and you're going to see a lot of different volatility and fluctuations in the market, right? And these are the times where people can really make a killing, right? And so the rich get richer during times of crisis is because in every crisis there's always going to be opportunity, right? And so if they have the money to invest, to go ahead and buy those houses when they're half off, or buy those assets as well, right? And then basically that's going to leave those have-nots with less assets and less ability to go ahead and, you know what I mean, equalize the game, right? So it creates even a further gap, right? So imagine, right, if you guys had, say, $100,000, right, just set aside, and you would be able to go ahead and invest, say, possibly even buy 4 or 5 properties, right? Split that up by 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. Basically, that would allow you guys to literally get a leverage. You wouldn't necessarily get rich off of that, but if you guys held those assets and later sold it, you guys would make a killing and a great profit. Now, if you guys just kept doing this, right, you guys can see how wealthy people can really get rich really quick, right? And so that's what I really love about credit, is that credit affords anybody, right? Like, even me, I came from humble beginnings from Sudan, a third world country, and literally my parents, you know what I mean, they worked great jobs. We didn't have everything we needed, we had everything we wanted, and I'm always grateful for that, right? However, the thing is though, like, it just allows anybody to literally be able to be their own boss. It allows anybody to be able to get $100,000, $200,000, $500,000 of funding just for your business to start whatever endeavor that you guys want. And even if you guys don't want to start a business, maybe you guys have a friend that is, you know what I mean, an entrepreneur that you have faith in, or somebody that you guys can invest in as well, or even just, you know what I mean, be a part of, say, certain investment funds and just letting your money work for you, right? That's, at the end of the day, that's really what the goal is of money, is really to allow your money to work for you. You don't really want to work for money, right? And right now with the AI, you know what I mean, revolution that we're going to be having, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs, right? And so it's really now or never for people to really try to hone in and understand how credit plays such a big factor, right? You guys can't get an apartment, you guys cannot get a house, you guys can't really start a business. Like, everything revolves around credit, right? Like, even from job employment opportunities, now a lot of employers are actually looking at your credit score and your overall credit, you know what I mean, worthiness, right? And to determine that if they want to even hire you, right? Because they don't want to go ahead and have somebody that has a low credit score, because that kind of shows a little bit of risk, right? Because what if worst case scenario, right, something happens or money goes missing? Who are they going to often look at? They don't want risky people in their business. Now, I don't really believe in that stigma just because you have bad credit that you're, you know what I mean, a thief or a liar, or just you do all that, but not necessarily, right? I mean, sometimes people just don't understand it, right? And so I definitely empathize with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, they don't really know that though. Like the lenders, they don't know that, and quite frankly, I'll be honest, they don't really care, right? They want to be able to lend to people who are responsible borrowers, disciplined, are going to pay off their balances in full, and really understand how to be able to play this game of credit that we call, right? So that's for the most part. I've never really used my debit cards. Like I think debit cards are the dumbest thing, right? Because of the fact that it's still your money, right? But like you guys try to go ahead and like say file a dispute, your debit card gets lost. They're not gonna take your dispute as seriously as if it's a credit card, right? If you guys have any fraud, any identity theft that happens to your credit card or anything like that, somebody steals it, whatever it may be, right? You're never responsible for any of those charges that they had made, right? And they'll most likely give it back to you guys a lot easier than a debit card, right? And plus too, you really get incentivized well. That's why I really, when I get credit cards and get higher access credit cards, I've got $25,000 credit cards, $50,000 credit cards, even $100,000 option lines with as far as like credit lines. And so I've been able to really just kind of hone in and build my credit over time. And really the more accounts that you guys have, right, that's really one thing I want you guys to focus on, is stop looking at your credit score, right? If you guys go to a dealership, they're not going to care about what credit score you have. They're actually going to care about your car rental history, right? They want to see that have you been able to say handle a $500 car if that's what you want to get, right? Or if you want to get a loan that's a lot higher, right, say an exotic car or something like that, they want to see that you've been able to actually handle higher payments, right, over a good amount period of time, right? And they want to see that you have been able to manage that account for at least 6 months. So that's really why I'm having a lot of different accounts and being able to just, you know what I mean, really use credit to your advantage, right? Like I'll go ahead and get another car every 6 months or every 3 months because of the fact that I'm trying to go ahead and build up my credit report, right? And I really want to be able to show these lenders that I can handle different types of accounts. And hey, what's the point of, you know what I mean, if you can go ahead and get another car every 6 months and it's not costing you anything and you're able to finesse basically, and also have that trade in and be able to actually buy a good car, right? And then when you trade it in, your loan is already cleared out. You basically have, it looks like you paid off a $40,000, $50,000, whatever the amount is, in 6 months, right? And so that's really like some tactics that I've really been using as far as just to boost your credit. But mainly I just kind of wanted to talk about the mindset of credit, right? I really wanted to, like, you know what I mean, kind of show you guys and like more explain, right, throughout this channel how you guys can really be able to use credit and leverage credit to your advantage, right? I mean, even with the credit card points or all the advantage models, you get a, like say if you get an American Express Platinum card, right, they'll go ahead and give you 120,000 points. And so for every 100 points, that's $1, right? So if you guys say spend $15,000 within 3 months or less, right, they'll go ahead and give you $1,200 for free just because you were able to go ahead and spend that money, right? That's definitely a great reason to understand credit and really understand how you can be able to leverage your credit so you guys can get that dream lifestyle that you guys want. I mean, one thing I did want to leave with you guys is that, I mean, your boss is never going to care about your family, right? You guys are the only person that's going to care about your family. So it really has to start with you guys. And I really hope that this video had given you guys a lot more insight into really how credit works and why credit is actually not bad. And I know there's a lot of people like such as, you know, the penny pinchers and whatever it may be, as far as like the people that are like, oh, all debt is bad, or I forgot what his name is, but you guys know, the bald head dude. But yeah, so basically, like, I know a lot of people kind of say that, but in my experience, most of the people that actually say that as far as want people to stray away from debt are people that have like mismanaged their debt, right? They've literally just went ahead and like basically got these credit cards, splurged on say clothes or splurged on things that won't return value to them later on, right? That's not what I want you guys to do, and that's not even what I really started this channel for, right? I mean, I feel like credit is a great asset to be able to invest into things that are going to give you money back, right? Whether that may be yourself, whether that may be in a business, whether that may be to be able to have good personal credit so then you can go ahead and have good business credit. I mean, the world is yours, so definitely make sure that you guys tap into all the new videos that we're going to be dropping. We're going to be dropping videos weekly. So again, my name is Abdul Hassan, and if you guys can do me a favor, I'm trying to share this game to as many people as possible. So if you guys don't mind, please subscribe and tap the bell notification below to get updated on all the new videos that we're dropping. We're going crazy. Let's go. See you next one.